Prince Andrew says he's giving up his royal titles, including the Duke of York. Andrew says it comes after discussions with his brother, King Charles. Now, the announcement today means that Andrew's only remaining title is going to be that of Prince. He has continued to face criticism over the years about his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He settled a lawsuit in 2022 by Virginia Giuffre, who accused him of sexual abuse when she was a teenager. The Prince has denied the allegations, and Giuffre's memoir is set to be released this coming Tuesday. Susan Ormiston is following the latest for us from London. So, Susan, tell us about this announcement.
Well, it came after a real steady drip of embarrassing headlines about Prince Andrew, which just aren't going away. First, his relationship with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew told the BBC years ago that he'd severed all ties with Epstein after 2011, but allegations again recently of new emails much later than that, one saying, allegedly from the prince, we're in this together. So there was that, and then concerns that the ghost of Epstein will continue to follow Prince Andrew, and there may be more revelations to come. And tied to that is this new, sad and sobering memoir from Virginia Giuffre. It's being published just next week, and she retells the details of the prince having sex with her when she was 17, she says, caught in the Epstein web. She says he was friendly enough, but still entitled, and writes in her new memoir as if he believed that having sex with me was his birthright. So that has all come out this week. Prince Andrew has always repeatedly denied all her allegations and settled a civil suit with her some years ago. Also, there have been questions over the years about Andrew's meetings with Chinese officials alleged to be spies close to the Chinese president. So all this came to a head with pressure keeping up pace these past few weeks. And tonight, the prince released a statement which says, in part, in discussion with the king and my immediate and wider family, we've concluded the continued accusations about me distract from the work of His Majesty and the royal family. And he goes on to say, I will therefore no longer use my title or the honors conferred upon me. As I've said previously, I vigorously deny the accusations against me.
What does this all mean then for, I guess, Prince Andrew, for the royal family?
Yeah, I mean, he remains a prince. He's not a duke. His former wife, Sarah Ferguson, which she and he have reconciled, she will no longer be a duchess. He'll probably stay in his home. It's a 30-room mansion in Windsor because he has a private lease to occupy that royal lodge. His daughters will remain princesses. But since that disastrous interview in 2019 with the BBC, he has not been doing royal duties. So, of course, that won't change. It's really the last of his titles is gone. He's independently wealthy. And last summer, we know that a poll here in Britain suggested that 2/3 of Brits wanted him stripped of this title. He wasn't stripped. The family avoided that by having him do this so-called voluntarily, to announce this tonight. It's also interesting in the calendar, Sarah, that King Charles is going to pray with the Pope next week in the Vatican, just as this Giuffre memoir comes out. So it's believed that the time was now for this final act of severance.
Susan Ormiston in London, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, to talk more about this, we're joined by Carolyn Harris. She's a royal commentator and an historian. Carolyn, really appreciate you being on tonight, because when this broke, this is making headlines really around the world, that this has happened, that he has relinquished these titles. I mean, of course, is the timing of the memoir. Is that why, do you think, Prince Andrew is choosing to act now? And is he choosing it?
Well, I think there's Virginia Giuffre's memoir and its impending publication, and that is a key factor in the timing of the announcement. But there have been other factors as well. There has been increased scrutiny of both Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson's connections to Jeffrey Epstein, which lasted longer than they admitted, that there's evidence in emails that they remained in contact for a longer time. There has been scrutiny scrutiny of Prince Andrew's business dealings. There have been details that have come to light about how he enriched himself from his royal position over the years. And then there's the fact that he has refused to fade into the background as a non-working member of the royal family. As recently as September, he attended the funeral of the Duchess of Kent at Westminster Cathedral, and he could have arrived and left discreetly, but instead there he was in front of the cameras, front and center, trying to engage his nephew, Prince William, in conversation. There have been previous instances of this kind as well, such as the memorial service for King Constantine II of Greece, where Prince Andrew looked as though he was leading the royal family into the service. So even those occasions where he could have been more discreet, he has appeared front and center, and that's distracted from the work of the royal family.
Carolyn, I want to go back to what I asked there, just the part about whether this was his choice or not. I mean, you point out he's refused to fade into the background. Queen Elizabeth, did she handle this scandal differently, do you think, than how we're seeing now King Charles handling it?
Yes, Queen Elizabeth II valued having her whole family around her on a personal level, even if they weren't all working members of the royal family. Whereas in King Charles III's reign, we're seeing a clearer divide between working and non-working members of the royal family, and that is likely to become even more pronounced in the next reign, where we will likely see a strong focus on William and Catherine and their children, whereas Queen Elizabeth II always positioned herself at the center of a large extended family where even her cousins were taking on royal duties.
So then how does this affect, I'm just thinking of any family when there's this kind of I don't know, not a scandal of this level would occur in, most families, but when there is any kind of a rift, how does it impact the actual family life of the royal family?
Well, one of the challenges here is that Prince Andrew's two daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, are close to their royal extended family. So we may see a situation where Beatrice and Eugenie and their husbands and children attend the royal Christmas, but Prince Andrew does not, because the sight of him walking with the royal family to church would attract too much negative comments. So certainly it is a difficult situation for his daughters and for King Charles III to be acting as king and excluding Prince Andrew from public life, but then also maintaining those connections to Andrew's daughters and now grandchildren as well.
That's royal commentator and historian Carolyn Harris. Carolyn, thank you so much.